Do you feel like your photos don't show what you want them to? If you've ever felt like your camera doesn't respond to you, or that your photos don't look like what you imagine, this video is for you. I'm going to teach you 5 essential steps to capture better photos. And at the end, I'll give you an extra step that will take your photos to the next level, once and for all. My name is Miguel Azorín, and I welcome you once again to Natural Portraits. The first step is perhaps the most important. Know your camera. It may seem obvious, but many beginners don't really know what each button or setting does, and that really limits their creativity. 3 key elements are essential: ISO sensitivity, aperture, and shutter speed. ISO sensitivity controls how sensitive your camera is to light. Increasing it allows you to shoot in dark places or at high speeds when the ambient light isn't enough. But be careful. The higher it is, the more noise will appear in your photo. Photographic noise is this, a kind of grain that distorts the sharpness of your image, so you need to find a balance for each situation, between sensitivity, ISO, and noise. It's one of the main keys in photography. Aperture directly affects the depth of field. Depth of field is the area in focus within the image. A large aperture blurs the background, while a small aperture keeps everything in focus. But be careful, aperture not only determines the depth of field, it also determines how much light reaches your camera's sensor. Larger apertures will let in the most light, while smaller apertures will only let in a tiny bit of light. On the other hand, shutter speed. It's the amount of time your camera lets light hit the sensor. It determines whether you freeze motion with a very fast exposure, a fraction of a second, or show that movement in the image with a long exposure. Of 1 second, several seconds, or even several minutes. For example, when photographing moving water, a fast shutter speed freezes the motion of the droplets. On the other hand, a slow shutter speed creates a silky and fluid effect. But if you pay attention, you'll realize that these 3 parameters are related to each other when it comes to getting exactly the image you want. And this is what we call the exposure triangle in photography. And having absolute control over it is the holy grail of photography. It will allow you to achieve the results you're looking for. The second step is something that many beginner photographers underestimate. Light. Light is everything. It can turn an ordinary photo into something stunning or, on the other hand, completely ruin it. Learning to observe light means paying attention to its direction, intensity, and color. For example, natural light changes throughout the day. The golden hour, right after sunrise or before sunset, produces a light, warm and soft, which is perfect for portraits and landscapes. The blue hour, right after the sun sets, creates a cooler and more dramatic atmosphere. But it's also at this time that, in some situations, one of the greatest explosions of color in nature occurs, the candilazos, something that absolutely drives landscape photographers crazy. Artificial light is also a tool for creating interesting effects, such as highlighting textures or giving volume to your subjects. And its use is especially powerful in night photography, allowing us to do everything from simply giving presence and volume to certain elements in the image to even bringing them to life. Light is photography. Photography is nothing more than learning to capture a moment of light. Without light, photography does not exist. Before you shoot, look at where the light falls, how it caresses the elements you're going to photograph, how it creates shadows, and which parts of the image stand out. Learning to see the light will allow you to make conscious decisions before shooting, so you can get exactly the image you're looking for and not just depend on luck. The third step is photographic technique. And this is where your photos stop being random and start to look professional. First, the exposure triangle I've already mentioned, ISO, aperture, and shutter speed, work together to create the perfect exposure. Changing one without readjusting the others will ruin your photo. That's why it's important to understand how to balance them. Next, the histogram. It might seem intimidating at first, but it's just a graph that shows you the highlights and shadows in your image. In fact, we could say it's the most important graph in photography, and the one that will show you whether your exposures are technically correct or not. Learning to read it helps you avoid overexposed or underexposed photos, and gives you better control over the light in each shot. Next, depth of field. This defines which parts of the photo are in focus and which are blurred. Using depth of field creatively allows you to highlight the subject and give your images a professional touch. And having complete control over it will allow you to decide at any moment which depth of field is ideal for the scene you're about to photograph. And finally, focus and sharpness. It doesn't matter if you have the most expensive camera, if you don't focus correctly, the photo will be worthless or lose its impact. Moreover, blur is one of the few technical errors that cannot be corrected during post-processing, so literally, a blurry shot will permanently ruin your photograph. Learn to always focus on the most important point, such as the eyes in a portrait or the main subject in a landscape. My recommendation: dedicate short practice sessions to trying out different exposure settings, varying the depth of field, and playing with focus. This will help you learn much faster than just reading theory. The fourth step is composition, and this is where creativity starts to play a fundamental role. Composition is how you organize the elements within your frame so that the photo is appealing and communicates something. Here are some simple rules that always or almost always work. The rule of thirds. Divide the image into 3 horizontal and 3 vertical parts, and place the important elements at those intersections. Leading lines. Use natural lines to guide the viewer's eye toward the subject. Point of interest. Make sure the eye knows what to look at first. And visual balance. Avoid making the image look heavy on one side and light on the other, or having too many distracting elements. A practical trick. Slightly change your angle, get closer to or farther from the subject, and move around the environment, varying the framing. You'll see how the same scene can go from being an ordinary photo to something spectacular, just by changing the composition. Mastering composition is the final key that will truly make you a photographer, along with the other steps I've given you. And you'll start to feel that your photos show exactly what you want in a natural way. The fifth step is simple, but powerful. Practice and be creative. Set yourself a challenge. Take 3 different photos of the same subject, applying everything we've covered. Camera settings, light, technique, and composition. Observe how each photo changes depending on the settings and decisions you make. Constant practice, along with curiosity and experimentation. That's what really helps you improve quickly. Photography, besides technique and theory, is an art that must be practiced just like any other aspect of life. If you don't practice and nurture it, it will never develop properly. At the beginning of the video, I told you I would give you an extra step that will take your photos to the next level for good. That extra step is the new free course from Academia Natural Portraits, Introduction to Photography. In this course, you'll find everything I've talked about in this video explained in detail over more than 2 hours. Yes, a complete course with over 2 hours of online training, totally free, which you can always access through Academia Natural Portraits. The link is in the description. Sign up today. Remember, photography isn't just about pointing and shooting, even if some people think so. It's also not about having the best camera on the market. As Ansel Adams said, the most important component of a camera is 12 inches behind it. It's the photographer. With practice, knowledge, and method, anyone can improve. Sign up for the free course, start practicing today, and get ready to see your photos truly start to stand out. And I assure you that after this, you'll never look at a camera the same way again. See you again next week here on Natural Portraits. Goodbye.